Hey again, live from my mom's basement. It's John. I got some really good Q&A questions, and they came really quick. I was surprised. So thank you very much for everybody that submitted questions. I'm just going to jump right into this. I kind of laid out all the questions, and I put answers to them beforehand to try to stay on track better instead of rambling on for like 20 minutes. So hopefully that helps. And let's just jump right into the questions. My first couple of questions come from somebody named Master Zaphod, Zaphod. The first question was, who do you think will win in the Rock versus Cena match at Mania? I guess this is a two-parter. If Cena wins, do you think this could lead to a possible heel turn close to the end of 2012? Rock will almost have to pass the torch in this match, and it's a lot like, how Hogan did for him and how Hogan tried to do for the Ultimate Warrior before that. I think everybody can agree with me, that really wish Rock would beat his monkey ass around, but when it comes down to it, they're not going to let their Boy Scout Superman, just, they're not going to let him drop the ball like that for the fans. He's the new face of their company. I would love for Cena to go heel and just say fuck the fans. I think it would legitimately have like a gigantic impact like it did for Hogan when he went heel. Just not something that you ever expected kind of thing. But there's nobody in the position in the company that's going to take over the top babyface role. And we have to be honest with ourselves. I mean, we're just going to be stuck with lame-ass Cena for a while. Hopefully, though, this is, hopefully, they can develop the character more after WrestleMania, or at least just give us a break from it altogether. Because once he fights Rock, I mean, what does he got left to do? Besides hog the title picture some more, So, thank you for that question. The next question was, since the WWE aren't using the US title properly, would you consider having the US title like the European title where the lower mid-card guys feud for it? Realistically, that's not a bad question. It's not a bad idea to do. If they did something like that, I wouldn't give them shit for it necessarily. But here's my opinion. My honest opinion is to get rid of that title altogether. Just scrap the US title. You don't need it. I think that they need to get rid of the SmackDown and Raw separation of the brands. I think they should bring everything together because the roster split is really kind of killing them in a sense. They spread what few top guys they have, so it's always the same ones in the title scene. So no matter what show you're tuning into, you're always seeing the same three guys fighting for the belt pretty much. There's really nobody left to give the rub to, like up and coming guys. Like what do you do? Like they either have to win like a Money in the Bank and cash it in and inject themselves into the title scene, or they have to win King of the Ring and the Royal Rumble to get their shot. It's not like you can just build a star like you used to back in the day, one that just would hold the Intercontinental title for a while, would drop it, and then would get pushed up into that upper card. So in other words, there should be a world title, which I assume they would just keep the WWE title because it has their company name on it. Keep the Intercontinental title. They're the ones that introduced that in the first place. So the US title came in from when they acquisitioned WCW. They'd keep the tag titles, obviously, and then they'd have the women's championship. Next question. We all know that the WWE have too many pay-per-views. Besides the big four, what other pay-per-views would you have in the calendar year and why? Again, this is a really good question. It made me think. So, I'm a fan of few pay-per-views. I can still remember when it was just the big four when I was a kid, and I'm one of the people that's under the philosophy that less is more. So, I think if they stuck a pay-per-view to like every 2 months at maximum, that they could do a lot better to build their feuds and just get stories going. And I think that they do well to bring back King of the Ring. that's one of the ones that I would like to see come back. It was a great pay-per-view, you know, for kind of indicating who they were going to showcase in the near future or give a run to. Sheamus won the last one, and now he's on a babyface run now. So, I mean, it's to me, it's logical for them to bring that one back. A lot of heels have used the King of the Ring title in their gimmicks before. If you want to look at the Macho King Randy Savage, he was one of the first ones to do it. I'd get rid of any and all pay-per-views, any kind of event that has a gimmicky, stupid TLC Hell in a Cell shit thing to it. Just get rid of it. And I'd even get rid of the Elimination Chamber, to be honest, because, you know, that sort of match is supposed to really be used to put people over in like a extreme circumstance, not to, you know, be something that you're going to stuff up our asses and put down our throats every year. You know, because I can remember when Hell in a Cell was the exclamation point on top of the damn feud, and if you remember back to Mankind versus The Undertaker, that was one of the greatest, most dangerous Hell in a Cell matches ever, and that was actually at the 1998 King of the Ring. So if I was to bring back or keep another pay-per-view, I guess I'd want to see something like No Mercy, just because I like the name. And those questions were from Master Zaphod. Thank you very much for those. Let's see, what else do I have? Next person was L Trixer, ELLTRIXER. And the first question is, if I can find it here, who do you want to see get a big push? There's a few people I'd like to see have a nice run. First and foremost, Wade Barrett. You know, it's time. You know, you dropped the ball with him with the whole Nexus thing. You dropped the ball with the core. It's time. The man really needs it. Then I'd like to see A-Rai get his due. You know, I'm a big Alex Riley fan, so let's keep that momentum going. Let's get him somewhere. Let's book him to like a U.S. or an Intercontinental title. Let's make it happen. I'd like to see him defend that title at WrestleMania, even at 2012. So I think that's doable. And I'm just going to name a third guy here, just to make sure that it's perfectly clear in everybody's mind that I want to see Cody Rhodes get a big shot down the line. But at the same time, I don't want WWE to, you know, like waste this and blow their chance with it. I don't want to see him graduate to the main event just by going against Orton. I really would like to see him built right and to defend that Intercontinental title for a while longer. Next question was, for both SmackDown and Raw individually, who would you roll, switch from face to heel, or vice versa to help the shows? And immediately the first thing that came to mind for me is that Dolph Ziggler needs to get away from Vicky and Swagger, and he needs to have a face run in the future. I'd also like to see Miz and Truth get the tag belts for a little while, but I just have the feeling that before that would happen, that they would give them to Swagger and Ziggler, and that would cause a lot of heat amongst Swagger and Ziggler, to where they eventually break up and have a feud. So that would be a good way to put Ziggler over. But they could definitely use some new tag teams too. I would want to give Miz a face run at some point. I think that he's got the microphone skills to carry him to whatever you want him to do for you. And just as a side note here, I said that I would future endeavor John Morrison, because there's nothing at this point that's going to save his career. He's pretty much buried. I think that WWE could use less heels, but to be honest with you, I'm not really sure who to turn face, because being a face, it takes a lot of work in order to pull it off right. And besides Alex Riley, I don't see too many young stars just coming up, you know, that can carry that babyface gimmick. You know, like Evan Bourne and Kofi Kingston are only going to go so far, guys. I hate to tell you, but you know, unless we see another couple of Jerichos pop out here soon, we're really going to be hurting. So thank you, L Trixer, for those questions. Next person that sent in questions was the Off the Rope Show, Mr. Route himself. And he says, why do so many people seem to think turning Cena heel will help the company. And I think that people are just picking their brains for, what's going to get the most shock value. A lot of us Attitude Era fans remember how fast that you could shake up a person's career with a well-placed heel turn. And my example is, look what it did for The Rock. When they brought him in, originally first he was a face, and then it really didn't go anywhere. And then all of a sudden they just said, you know what, go out there and just be yourself. Start talking shit about people. It was amazing. What they need to do is to get future stars going, and I think Cena needs to be that guy that really helps people get to the next level. So rather than turning him heel, we should just focus on the fact that Cena is the benchmark, if you will. Next question: who is your favorite wrestler, both past and present, and why? Well, it shouldn't be anybody's, any big secret. My favorite wrestler of all time is Macho Man Randy Savage. I don't think that anybody could ever take his place. He was my childhood hero. He's just so unforgettable. And these days it's really hard to find a wrestler to get behind. It almost seems like the business is kind of refusing to get behind anyone other than, like, the old farts like Sting and Hogan and even John Cena. Not that Cena's an old fart, but that's who they're behind right now, and they don't really seem to be giving anybody else like a long-term kind of shot with that. If I was to pick, just one guy from the here and now that I really admire, it would be AJ Styles. Dude has talent, and I think that if push came to shove, I know he's a TNA, loyal guy, been there forever, but if WWE was to sign him and bring him in, I think that ultimately he could have a really good career, and a strong one for them too. So it'd be AJ Styles. Thank you, Mr. Rout, for those questions. Those were ones that really I enjoyed answering, to be honest with you.